let's get over to the experts.
Yeah.
Chris Holcomb, our chief meteorologist. Ice storm in New York versus Atlanta. Is there a difference?
You know, I don't think that the words ice storm and fun go together because it's not going to be fun here when we have the icing conditions coming in. So here's what we're watching on radar. You know, we're in the 40s right now. We're good. We've been telling you that we were expecting the daytime hours today to be fine. It's going to be tonight, really, when things start worsening. So we've got the clouds around now. No rain here. Northeast Georgia, we've been watching some reflectivity coming in here, trying to get a little bit of moisture coming down to the ground, but nothing really major going on there right now. Most of this moisture, though, Alabama, Tennessee, back into Mississippi and Louisiana. This is the part we're watching moving in tonight that's going to clash with that colder air coming in from the north and east. We have the winter, actually the ice storm warning in effect for North Georgia, roughly along I-20 northward. There are some counties south of I-20 like Henry County and Clayton County included in that. But it's in these areas where we're going to see some ice developing tonight. In some spots, it's going to be more significant accumulation than others, and we're going to be dealing with some power outages there. So we think it's going to be major impacts in Northeast Georgia with ice totals over a half an inch with dangerous to impossible travel and widespread power outages. Look at the moderate here along I-20, Metro Atlanta and northwest into Northwest Georgia. Ice totals a quarter of an inch to a half inch. Difficult travel there and scattered outages. Not as much on the south side, but a glazing up to maybe a quarter of an inch. Still some slick travel and some isolated outages there too. Danielle Moss joins us now. And you know, Danielle, it's really interesting. Just a minute ago, Cody Alcorn showed that bottle cap of what it would be like for about an inch in diameter of ice. And it doesn't seem like that much, but it makes a huge difference just going from a quarter of an inch to a half inch or even more than a half inch of ice.
Exactly. When you look at our little yardstick here, you're thinking, okay, we're talking about an inch. Nope. But when we even talk about small amounts, just a tenth of an inch, that is when we start to see some really slick surfaces, a light glaze. And that is definitely a very small amount, right? But honestly, when you talk about ice, that's still huge because that could still cause some slick spots on the sidewalks, on some roads. And then even when you're just walking, maybe you have to go take the trash out. You need to be extra careful. Now we start talking about a quarter of an inch. That becomes really problematic. You can see it kind of raised just a little bit there. That's when it gets dangerous on the bridges and on the roadways. And we start to see a little bit of that encasing on the power lines as well. It looks gorgeous outside, but it is very, very dangerous. We even start to see some of those icicles forming when we start talking about greater than half of an inch of ice. Crippling. That word stands out the most when we talk about ice accumulations. And when we really break it down, unfortunately, Northeast Georgia is in that area where they could be seeing half an inch or greater in totals. Crippling, Chris. That word really sticks out when we talk about these ice accumulations. And even here in Metro Atlanta, seeing a quarter to half of an inch could be devastating for some people.
And I want to share a little bit of wisdom. If many of you remember Flip Spiceland, he was one of our meteorologists years ago. He posted online, many of you may think that you can drive on ice, but the problem is you probably can't stop on ice. And that's why we're telling everyone to don't try to venture out on the roads when we have those ice around. Here's the timeline. We're going to be watching the transformation here going on with the rain freezing the rain mixing and starting to freeze up. And the untreated roads are going to be turning slick. And then overnight tonight, we're going to see accumulation intensifying, temperatures dropping into the 20s, and the roads really turning slick and icy overnight. Then tomorrow, morning freezing rain, heavier precip in the afternoon with those temperatures trying to warm up a little bit, but we're still going to be dealing with a power outage threat as those winds are going to start kicking in Sunday and into Monday, and then even colder air on Monday. So this storm has numerous verses to it. We're just at the preamble right now, and then we've got all the verses through tomorrow, and then even more next week when we're talking about that cold air.